Welcome to Botanical Trails Through the Juniper Forest. I'm your host, Brian Heater. Each week, I'll have a different guest join me to explore a pair of interesting gins. We'll chat a little bit about the gin and the distilleries, throw in a bit of trivia, hopefully laugh a bit, and then we'll go off the beaten path. Although I say that this is a podcast about gin, really this is just an excuse for me to spend time with my friends. But that'll just be our secret. Okay, let's start exploring. My guest today is Cheryl Still. Cheryl, thanks for joining us for episode 2 of season 4.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So I am excited to have you on the show today for a couple reasons. One, this first gin that we're going to try is a gin that's never been on the podcast before, but I would say it's probably in my top 10 of favorite gins I've tried in the past couple of years. So I am excited to try that. And then for the second half of the show, we're going to try a type of gin that I have never tried before. It's a completely sort of different style. So we'll talk more about that when we get to segment 2. So today's gin is called Farmer's Organic Gin to start the show off. It's considered a modern American gin. And it was originally produced as an organic grain-based spirit emphasizing sustainability and clean ingredients. From what I could tell in my initial research, it looks like it actually first was made in Minnesota, like in around 2010. And since then, the brand's evolved, and now it's actually made now in Idaho, if I remember. Yes, Rigby, Idaho. So, thanks for coming on the show. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.
And just give that a little try.
Okay. Now, I must say this is my first taste of gin ever in my life.
Okay.
So I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah.
But I was very pleasantly surprised.
You were pleasantly surprised?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great.
Am I tasting the is this a juniper forward gin or
no,
not so much?
Not so much. But the juniper does come through, but it is it's a little bit of like citrus to it. So this gin is known for its carefully selected botanical profile, and there are like 7 gins that they talk about. So juniper, because it has to have that, obviously. Then elderflower, lemongrass, coriander, rose, angelica root, and hemp seed. And hemp seed is a pretty distinctive, or not distinctive, but it's a unique botanical that I've not come across before.
Yeah.
And then the lemongrass, I have tried a couple of other gins that have like lemongrass, and that is, I've actually enjoyed all of them. So I think one of the reasons I personally like this gin is one of the botanicals is the lemongrass. And actually, that's not right. I don't know why my notes are wrong. There's actually 9 botanicals. The other 2 are, it's like lemon and lime, if I remember correctly. So
Wow.
yeah.
Citrus.
For some reason, when I updated my notes, I just realized that it didn't get updated on what I have right here in front of me, which seems odd. But sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's very warm going down the throat, but it doesn't burn like I've heard.
Yeah, I mean
accurate?
it's because it's a pretty like probably distilled well like smooth gin. You can certainly have alcohol that will burn on its way down. We have had a couple of different gins on the show before where it does have a little burn on the way down. So, but this one, there wasn't a burn, certainly a warmth, I would say from the alcohol, but it was a pretty smooth, like little taster, I thought. So
yeah, delicious.
So this would be considered a little bit of like a citrus forward. So because of that, so what I made for our cocktail is, this is my favorite way to have it, which is the gin with the light tonic from Fever Tree and then a little bit of lemon with it. So, and I think that complements it pretty well. This gin has won a number of awards, and it was one of the first gins that got certified with certified organic status and the innovative use of its botanicals. So, and then I'll talk about the distillery in a second, but if you want, you can give that cocktail a try. So, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's good.
You like it?
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, it's a nice real smooth gin, I think. I especially liked this one in like the spring and summer. It's kind of light and refreshing. But yeah, it's just a good one. So, the distillery that does this is Distilled Resources, DRINC, so kind of like drink. It's an American distillery. They started in 1988 out in Rigby, Idaho. It was founded and led by the distiller Gray Otley, and they focus on producing high quality neutral spirits. So that would be like vodka and gin. And they do a lot of they have their own brand, which is this Farmers, and then they do stuff for private label clients as well. So, and they were the first distillery to be certified organic, and that was in 1999. So,
wow. When it says they do things for private
labels,
yeah.
It will mean like a company may come up with an idea or a concept for a gin or a vodka or something like that, but they don't actually own a distillery. So they will work with a distiller like this to like fine tune the recipe and everything like that. But then they contract that work to that distillery, and then that distillery would make the spirit and then bottle it for them, and then like put their whatever type of label on there. So whatever they're selling it under, that's what they would put on there for them. So,
very cool.
Yep. So from what I could tell, there's only two versions of the Farmer's gin. There's this, and then there is called their Reserve Strength. And the one difference is the Reserve Strength does not put the hemp seed in it. So that was the only like distinction I could tell between the two. And then it's a little bit higher alcohol content, so I don't think quite Navy Strength, but call it Reserve Strength. But I've never come across it here, so I've never had a chance to try that one. But this is the first time that we've gotten to have this gin on the show, and so I was excited to give this one a try with you, so I'm glad that you like it.
I do. Have you ever put grapefruit in it before? Or a different citrus, or is it usually lemon?
I have tried this before with lemon, lime, just those two, and I found I prefer lemon. I'm personally not a huge grapefruit fan. The only time I really have any grapefruit type thing is if you were to go to Eastern Kill, their tasting room on Wealthy, when they do their in-house gin and tonic, they still serve it the way that they used to when they originally opened, and they put a garnish of like grapefruit skin in there. So, but I'm not a huge grapefruit fan, so I never really use that as a garnish personally. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great.
So, so really never gin before?
No.
Or wine, right?
I've just had wine one time.
Okay.
One sip of wine, actually.
Oh, I thought you'd had more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a full glass.
Beers, vodka.
I had one sip of beer, and once I had an alcoholic kombucha.
Oh.
But that was it. That's it.
What's kombucha again? Can you remind me?
Yeah, it's like fermented green tea or fermented black tea. Could be either with sweetness in it. So, yeah.
So do they make a tea and then they let it sit around for a bit to ferment?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a more technical process.
Sure, but that's sort of like the overall gist of it.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not a huge tea fan, so that would explain why I've never really tried that then.
Yeah.
So.
And then they add sweetness to it, usually sugar, honey, and different flavors, different botanicals. So we have some local companies that do it really well here, actually, but some of them are alcoholic.
Oh,
so,
okay. So they
yeah.
could infuse it with alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that's why I'm really surprised that I like this.
That you like it?
Because I
I'm glad,
really had no idea.
glad to hear that it's not too bad for you. So.
No, it's good. I think I'm tasting the tonic when you first sip it. Because there's the sweetness at first, and then is that...
Yeah, the this tonic, it's itself, it's pretty neutral. Like, it gives a chance for, I like using this tonic because I feel it helps, catch more of the flavor of the gin, typically. So, but yeah, the tonic does give it a little bit of that sweetness. So, when we do the second segment, it's going to be a different tonic. It'll be the Mediterranean tonic, and that's infused with a bit more stuff, and so that itself has its own sort of flavor. So we'll see. we'll see what you think of that one when we
Cool.
get to try that one. So, now one of the things I wanted to chat with you about, because as far as I know, you are my only friend who's ever done this, and I'm just sort of curious about it. And we had a chance to watch the Winter Olympics actually just a couple months ago.
Yes.
But when you were growing up, you competitively were a figure skater.
That is correct.
So,
Yes.
so can you remind me again? So you did that for how many years? And you did it just individually. You didn't do pairs, if I remember
Correct,
correctly.
yeah. Individual, so single ladies. I did from age 8 through almost 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for those competitions, it was like through a club then, I'm guessing, if you were that
Yes.
age range, because I don't think this is like any type of varsity sport around here that I'm aware of.
No.
So.
Yep, it was a Grand Rapids club.
And then for those competitions, is that something that you did, was it like competing against other like clubs in Michigan or in the Midwest, or as you got older, were you like traveling nationally? Like, how did that all work for you?
Yeah, so it was mostly in Michigan against other clubs from Michigan. I did qualify to go to regionals, but I never went to regionals when I was a little bit older. I started later on. I mean, I was 8, but most people who were really in it would start younger. So
Really?
I was in
Younger than 8?
Yeah.
So like what age did they let kids
like
into the club?
2, 3. I mean,
For real?
you start like doing learn to skate, and then by the time you're 4 or 5, you can like join the club. So
Wow.
I wasn't
Okay.
as like intense about it as
So you
other-
were considered kind of a late
Yeah.
bloomer, late
Yeah.
starter
Most
at
of-
8.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Most of the people in my level were like 2 years younger than me, but I loved it. Yeah. It was,
Yeah?
Yeah, it was so great. I did not like competitions.
No?
Competitions were just more stressful, but
Okay, but you enjoyed like the practice and just the skating itself.
yes, exactly. Yep, I did have some injuries from figure skating.
And, yeah, well you
they
did, I
come.
mean, for what, 9 years?
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
almost 10. So, yeah.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, so did you kind of come up through the club with like the same group of folks then? Like you guys all trained together, and did you compete as a
Yes.
team, or would you compete individually? Like it was the club would like win something, or was it you were part of the club but it was more like individual? Sort of like what I had when the one year I raced bikes. I was in the Kalamazoo Bicycle Club, and there were like 3 of us on the junior team when I raced, but we wouldn't win as like a team if one of them, we only had one guy actually who was any good. If he won or placed, I mean, he just kept the prize money and stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good for him. Sad for you guys, but no.
No, it's fine. I wasn't that good. I mean, I only did it that year, and I was terrible at first. I got better as the season went on. My last race is the best race like I had, but
That's a good way to win. Mine
it was,
too.
yeah. The only
Yeah.
bummer was I was like in the top 3 when we were getting ready to start the sprint, and I got a flat tire. And I was just always like, I wonder how I would have
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have flat. I still placed in the top like 10. The guy on our team, Jeff, he was like, no, follow me, and so I still like rode hard. Maybe it wasn't the best idea on a flat tire, but still placing in the top 10 was good. But yeah, but it was a longer road race. It was a little hilly, and that was just, my body type was just much more suited for that. Most of the races we did were criteriums, which are typically like a mile-long course around like a downtown area. And you'll do, I don't know, depending on how long the race is and how long the track is, you would do maybe 25 to 35 laps. But those races are typically a little shorter and they're faster. And I wasn't a sprinter, and I've just struggled terribly in those, especially early on. So
It's so interesting how whether it's races or competitions, that's only like one small portion of like all your training, right? And so much can go wrong, and so much of it. I mean, we saw that at the Olympics. With whether it was figure skating or other competitions, where it was just like comes down to that one moment, and then something happens, and like that happened a lot in figure skating too.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So now that you're older, when you go and watch it, since you did singles when you were in the club, do you prefer watching singles, or do you prefer watching pairs, or you just like all of it?
Good question. I do enjoy a lot of it. I don't love the dance because I really like to see them do jumps. But something interesting is I don't like watching skating shows. I only like watching skating competitions because in shows they don't put their full self out there and take a lot of risks because they're supposed to land everything in the shows. It's more for entertainment. So I don't like watching those because I like seeing them go for like the big jumps and like risk their life in a way to win the competition.
But when they're forced to like try something harder because the other guy might be able to land that, I would have to try and go land that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, same type of thing. Like, yeah, I'd much rather go to like a normal basketball game than like watch a scrimmage or something where if it's a competition, the stakes just are a bit higher.
Oh, yeah.
And people try a little harder.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with all that. So.
I find the men's competitions to be extremely exciting because, I mean, I remember watching when there was a time where, like, before the men's competition had done their first triple, and then, first quad, and then they did the quad, and it was, like, just the level increases of expectation of, like, what is possible, similar to how fast someone could run the mile.
Yeah, I think we had talked about this, like, during the Olympics when, it's sort of like if other people see someone is capable of doing that, all of a sudden what seemed, unattainable or impossible, suddenly, it doesn't maybe become commonplace, but all of a sudden a lot of people can suddenly do it. And it was the same thing, like no one ever thought they could run the 4-minute mile. And then someone does it, and then shortly thereafter, like another person did it, and now it's insane, like how far they've put that record down. But you just need that one person to sort of like go do it.
Yeah.
And then,
Simone Biles did that in, like, gymnastics, didn't she? Where she, like, named jumps or routines after herself or moves. I don't know what they call them in gymnastics.
Yeah. Or, I mean, like in pro football, like the biggest change I've noticed over the past 3 to 4 years is now you have these kickers that can, like, easily drill 60-yard field goals. So it's almost now if they can cross the 50-yard line, they could potentially score points. And that was like growing up, that was like never the case. If a guy could hit a 45-yarder, he was considered like a really good kicker. And now these guys are routinely knocking it in from 60 to 63 yards. It's crazy.
Wow.
So the accuracy and the power that they have in these kicks, and it's just like, where did this come? Like, how did we suddenly get this evolution in kicking over the past couple of years? It's crazy. It's weird when you just see those little things in sports. So
another thing our club did was we always hosted one of the competitions every year, and so I got to be like a runner for the results during those months. Like when I wasn't competing, some of the off time I could like run the results or help with registration, and that was fascinating because like
the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, like you're up close and personal with the judges, and then you take it to the accountants, and you see. I don't know. There's just a lot of cool stuff that happens.
So as a runner, you're not on the rink, right? You're not like skating something over. You're kind of like going from the judges table to the tabulation room or something.
Yeah, and that's because it wasn't digital yet. There weren't computers.
Sure, they had to write everything down, and then someone would have to like add it all up.
Yeah. So like when you're waiting for the results of the competition in the Olympics, it's like, okay, maybe there's like 2 minutes or something a minute that you're waiting for results. When you're a runner, you're waiting like 45 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Oh, wow.
Like after you compete, because...
How many judges would you guys have then at your competitions? Like as you got older, would you have more judges?
Yeah, so we were on the 6.0 judging scale before, and there were less judges, maybe like 4 is what my recollection. Maybe 3 when we were really younger. And then we moved to the IJS system, the International Judging System, which is what the Olympics are judged under.
Okay.
There were like panel of 8 to 10 judges, and so there's a lot more.
Wow. And you guys, in your competitions, when you moved to that, you would have more judges then for that as well?
Yep.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
What was your most difficult jump, and then what was the jump that you enjoyed doing the most?
Good question. So because I was not as high as others, my highest jump was I could do some double jumps. So the hardest one I think was the double sow cow for me. In terms of the one that I actually got up to. I had 2 of those in my program, so I had to do it twice. But, and then the one I enjoyed the most, I think, was the flip jump. which is not actually a flip. It's just how you enter the jump.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed that one the most.
Okay.
So.
What makes something a sow cow? Is it like the way they jump or the way they land, or what makes something a sow cow?
So the difference between the jumps is how you go into them and what foot you take off from them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Among like your leg movements and things like that, but you have to pivot on your edge and then swing your leg around to do a sow cow. And so what that means is you often end up angled, which is a higher risk of falling. So
yeah, I would bet.
It was a hard one, for me at least. But.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's amazing. That you could even like skate around and do that that's awesome. Do you get out and ice skate nowadays at all, ever? Or
not really.
No? Okay.
No. I was I taught a little girl how to teach skate for a little while. I've done a couple girls would train, and that was just fun. When they're starting from zero and you get to help them progress a little bit. But
yeah, I
usually try to avoid busy open rink times, and then outdoor rinks like ruin my blades, so I don't do those either. But
makes sense. Yeah, I probably took a good, trying to think, 20-year break almost. Like once I stopped racing, I just didn't really ride a bike then for a long time.
But see, you picked a better sport than I did because it's easier for you. See, you cycle now still.
Yes, and then I got older, and then I was like, oh, I don't race or anything, but yeah, it's probably the best exercise I get during the year. Yeah, I had gone from, when I started cycling again, I got it was called like a hybrid bike, so it was sort of like a mountain bike frame, but with narrow tires, so I couldn't like go mountain biking with it. I had to stay to paved trails, but I'd ride like sitting up more straight. I wasn't like hunched over like I used to be on a road bike and stuff like that, because I just didn't think I'd want to do that. And then, when was it? 2017, so like 9 years ago now. Yeah, we were visiting my sister Amy in Madison, and the hotel we were at, there happened to be a bike shop like at the other end of the parking lot, and I went and looked around, and they had the brand that I had raced, which is a Bianchi, and yeah, I don't know, I just found one, and I got it, and I rode that hybrid bike one other time, and then I just stopped riding it, and in fact, I sold it last summer. Because I'm like, it's a really nice bike, but I'm not riding it for years. Like, someone should ride that. And I literally just ended up like talking to a guy one night, and he was sort of describing the type of bike that he would want, and I was like, I think I have something. I was like, why don't you come look at it this weekend? And
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then he bought it, and I bumped into him like a month ago, and he's happy with it, which is great, and at least it's getting used and everything. Yeah, and I didn't think I'd go back to a road bike, but I really liked that. I like that bike, so it's been good.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Okay, we had said for trivia that you would go first, so let me grab your question. So, again, this isn't gin trivia, because we had gone through these, so this is more like cocktail, or sometimes it's just sort of like alcohol in general. Okay. So, the theme of these questions is called, Did I Do That? So it's questions about famous benders and or blackouts. Someone who's really had a night out on the town. So, okay. Your question. In April of 1969, Richard Nixon got so intoxicated that he tried to do what? Okay, your answers are A, throw away JFK's portrait, B, nuke Vietnam, C, declare Puerto Rico a state, or D, barbecue indoors. And I'm happy to reread the question and or the answers if you'd like me to go through that again.
Yeah, read through the answers again.
Sure. Again, in April of 69, Richard Nixon got so intoxicated that he tried to do what? A, throw away JFK's portrait, B, nuke Vietnam, C, declare Puerto Rico a state, or D, barbecue indoors.
Okay. I don't think it's D. Knowing a little bit more about history would help me, because I don't know when Puerto Rico was declared a state. Oh, well, I mean, it's not just not a state, but, but was it part of the United States at that time? I think it was. Okay, you're nodding your head, yes. I'm leaning towards C, so I'm going to go with C.
You're going towards he tried to declare.
Oh, no. No.
No, not that one? Okay.
I'm going to go with A.
A, that he tried to throw away JFK's portrait. Okay. No, it is the most horrifying of all of these. B, tried to nuke Vietnam.
Oh my. That's the one I was not going for.
Me neither. I've actually never heard this story before, and so that's just sort of slightly horrifying.
I would like to know the second part of that story of like who stopped him.
Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully they were just like hiding, what do they call it, the football or whatever from him at the time. Like, now, like once the president starts drinking, they should just like move that thing like out of DC for a bit.
Yeah. He should be in a different room.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is crazy. I've never. I'll have to like read into that a little bit more. So, okay, we will take a break and then we will be back with a different style of gin. All right, we are back, and for the first time on the show, we are going to do it's called, or considered, a mid-strength alcohol beverage, or mid-proof. And I didn't even know this existed. I was in Madison in the fall, hanging out with my niece Esme, and I was just out and about one day, and I stumbled upon this gin, and I was just like, oh, well, this seems interesting. I've got friends who, are kind of just watching what they're drinking or trying to maybe not consume as much. So I was like, well, let's see if this mid-strength stuff is any good. So it's kind of like a new category for the show. And so this gin is called Samurai Gin. It's kind of a Scandinavian word. I'll go into a bit of the background of it. But let's give this a little try. So cheers.
Cheers.
Let's see what this tastes like.
Okay, so I'm going to look to you. Tell me how this compares to normal gin or other gins you've tried.
It is definitely smooth. I do feel like right off the bat, it doesn't seem like it's as much alcohol. Like there's maybe a little bit of warmth, but there's like no burn or anything for me. What did you think when you took the little sipper?
No, I'm really impressed by the level that you're able to understand that.
Oh, by the way, that's not even close. I would never make a living. I'm not good at like describing stuff, as the four listeners of this show know. But it does seem like a little lighter to me compared to the other like little sippers that we've done like on the show. I'm sorry, and you were saying...
Oh, it burned more for me than
this one.
This is my second gin ever.
Sure, but this one had a little bit more burn. Okay, yeah. So there's a chance it maybe just like isn't distilled as much, or So okay, so the Samurai Gin, it is considered a modern American craft gin, and it's part of the company called Samurai Spirits. They're actually based in Chicago. So. And they are a brand that's focusing on producing these mid-strength alcohol beverages. So this just came out a couple of years ago, December of 2022. It's a gin that is produced using like traditional methods. They use a 100-year-old copper pot still, and that runs through multiple distillations. From what I could find in my research, there's at least 5 primary botanicals in it: juniper, lemon peel, coriander, cassia, and angelica root. Cassia, I think, might be a little bit new. So it is to create they put these ingredients together to create a flavor profile that balances traditional juniper forward notes with citrus brightness and subtle spice. So if they are trying to go with a little bit of spice, that also may be why it seemed a little more burny for you. So, it's been described as having a clean, smooth, and approachable character. So they, like I said, just came out a couple of years ago. They've won a number of awards, including the brand was named Low Proof Spirit Producer of the Year just a couple of years ago. So, and then as far as the cocktail goes, I use the Mediterranean because I know they're trying to go a little more citrusy with this one, and Mediterranean tends to complement gins very well that kind of are citrus forward. So we will give the cocktail a try, and then I'll just tell us a little bit about the distiller.
Cool. Yeah.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. What do you think?
I still love the first one the most.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that's why, that first one, that's why it's in my top 10.
Yeah?
I'd say, yeah.
But the gin tonic tastes good.
Yeah, it's good.
Are you able...
I do think, though, like, if someone served that, like, if, I don't know, I just feel like you can sort of tell it's just not as, it doesn't have, like, the normal amount of alcohol, it seems like. That would be my guess. But it's not bad. I mean, it's got a good flavor and everything.
Can you taste the Mediterranean tonic? Or is it just not distinctly?
No, I wouldn't say, like, I'm trying to think. I don't know that I would be, if, like, you serve this to me blind, that I'd be like, oh, that's Mediterranean tonic. I'm definitely not that sophisticated, so. Summeroy Spirits is the craft-based spirits company that's behind this. So, unfortunately for them, they were just trying to emerge during COVID-19. So, like around 2020, 2021. But maybe not the worst idea, because now a lot of people are, like, home, they can't go out. People are, like, looking to do things. So, so it was a brainchild of two entrepreneurs down there, and they were looking to create a new category of mid-strength alcohol. So, and their focus was on gin and vodka. Just trying to focus on those. So, and the name, as I had mentioned, is based on a Norwegian island where the sun does not set, like, during the day in summer. So it's similar to kind of the thought behind, like, Founder's All Day IPA. Like, it would be, like, that is considered a beer you can drink, like, all day. It tastes good, but there's not as much alcohol to it. Same type of thing with this. It's considered, like, this would be a spirit. Like, if you wanted to, you could, like, drink it all day, but since it's only 2/3 as strong, you're not going to feel terrible at the end of the day after enjoying a couple of them. So
okay, wait, is that why they call it All Day IPA?
Yeah, that's, like, the name.
I never understood that. I thought it was like, yeah, this is good any time of day.
Well, that as well, but, like, it's considered like, oh, you could drink this, like, all day.
Oh, that's funny.
I've been told that. Now, I could be wrong. If anyone associated with Founders, like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is what I've been told. So, but this is the first time we've tried this, and literally, I've never come across, like, a gin like this before. Now, probably one of the reasons is I was never looking for, like, a mid-strength or anything. Sure. So, and what caught me was the name originally, because I was like, oh, where's this from? Because I thought maybe it would be, because at the time I was on the hunt for, like, gins from Scandinavia, because I was looking for a gin to complement a gin from Denmark that David brought, because I knew he was coming on the show, and so that name, and so it's funny that the name is actually named after a Norwegian island. But then I was just reading about it, and I was like, well, this is kind of interesting. I wonder how this is, and so I just decided to snag it. So that's how this gin ended up on the show. And then when you were talked about maybe coming on, I was like, oh, this would be perfect for Cheryl. She doesn't really drink a whole lot, so we can give this one a try and see what she thinks.
No, it was great. It was a great pairing with the other one. The more I drink it, the more I like it.
So that will tend to happen because, like, the ice will melt a little bit in the drink, and it helps to just kind of, like, as they say, like, unlock the botanicals, and it'll become, as opposed to becoming, like, watered down, it'll become a little bit more flavorful. Yeah,
which is so interesting. That's like,
it's kind of, like, different than, like, if you get a pop,
Yeah.
and if you have a pop and, like, a bunch of ice melts in your Coke, like, the Coke doesn't taste as good to me. But with this, it's kind of like, oh, it tastes a little bit better than it did, like, 2 minutes ago.
It's amazing.
For sure. Yeah, it's a crazy, weird science thing behind it, so.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So what are the chances, scale of 1 to 10, like, you may end up having a gin in your cupboard within the next year or two?
That's not what I thought you were going to say. If the question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, that I have the opportunity for Brian to make me another
gin and tonic at some time. Oh, okay.
Definitely 10.
Oh, great.
I would definitely take him up on.
Well, I take that as a win.
Yeah, that's a
awesome.
win.
Okay. Great.
If the question is, will I have one in my cupboard?
Like, would you be like, oh, after you've been out in your yard like all day in the summer, it's a Friday, no, it's a Saturday. Let's say you've just been out like all day and you're like, oh, I want something kind of light and refreshing. Like, would Farmer's Gin potentially be in your cupboard?
0.
Okay, that's fine. but it could be though. Is at the end of the day you're like, hey Brian, what are you up to?
Yes.
Can we have a gin and tonic?
Yes.
And then I could make something up.
Yes,
for
exactly.
Sure. All right.
I feel like it's more something I would seek out if I was like at a restaurant or with you or with other people who have gin and tonics. But I don't see myself making it myself just because that's such a big leap from where I.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, yeah. But,
go from 0 to.
No, that's fine. But no. I'm super happy that you like enjoyed these and weren't completely just like these are terrible. So I feel like it's a small like a mini win. Not that the point is to have people because you're definitely not the first person that come on to the show and are like, I'm not a gin fan, but when they're like, oh, this isn't what I expected, then it's always kind of fun that you kind of get to introduce something a little bit different. I will say, just heads up, at a restaurant or if you're out somewhere, what will sometimes happen though is they'll have like a kind of like a more standard tonic that'll go in, so it may not taste quite as good as like if you've got like a good tonic. So just as
very true.
Just as a heads up, like
I think I've absorbed that from you talking about gins. Is like the homemade stuff is actually way better than what's provided in the restaurants.
Most of the time. I mean, that's been my experience. So.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it for like these types of situations. Or,
yeah, for sure. Would you be open to like other gins though? Like
yeah, I think so.
Like, okay, great.
I think
that's good to know.
This has really broken the stereotype of like what I thought gin was like. Really, I had never tried it before, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great.
Well, good. Okay, well that's a fun little win. So another thing that you and I had talked about. So I'll just kind of bring it up and I'll set it up, but then you can tell me where the holes are in the story or whatever. But you had talked about. I don't know exactly how old you were, but you're sort of in a competition. I believe it's a competition with your brother for you guys not to drink caffeine. But this has been going on for like 15 plus years, is my understanding. Is that right?
About 20.
20, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, real quick, how did the competition come about? And what is if someone finally gives in and has caffeine, what does the winner get?
That's funny. It's more of a collaboration, less of a competition, but it is.
Oh,
it's
more
like
of a collaboration.
It's like a pact. It's like
gotcha.
Pact.
Okay.
We're doing this together, but whoever drops out, whoever like loses, there is some element to that too. So it is kind of a competition, sort of, in a collaborative way, I guess. But so when my brother and I were teenagers, he's 2 years older than I am. We just growing up saw our parents drink coffee every day, and if they didn't have it, there were headaches. And we would go on road trips a lot to visit family who were out of state, and there was a lot of we were absorbing sort of the fact of like, okay, if we don't have coffee at a certain time, I get a headache, that type of thing. So as teenagers, we were just like, well, we want to do something different. Like we don't really want to have that like dependence on caffeine. Yeah. So we're like, let's see how long we can go without it. And it started really sort of just as a joke. My brother didn't like pop. Oh, okay. I really liked Coke's vanilla when I was a teenager. Coke? Yeah. Okay. Coke. Yeah. So I stopped drinking that. So I was about 15 or 16 when we started this pact. And so it's been about 20 years, but we just kept going. So, we both have a little bit of blackmail on each other though. So, let me back up a little bit. Like, this pact includes like no caffeine. So no pop with caffeine. I mean, no pop at all. Yeah. No.
Like coffee or
espresso. No, like, black tea or...
Does black tea, like, naturally have caffeine? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So all tea leaves have caffeine in them, like, whether they're green or black. But herbal tea doesn't. But herbal tea is made with, like, roots and spices and...
Oh, is that the difference?
That. Yeah.
Oh,
so herbal tea is good, but black tea, green tea doesn't. So anyway, so the blackmail is that he took one 5-hour energy drink one time, or shot... when he was working third shift, and right after he got engaged, when he wasn't able to sleep that whole night. And
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, and then
Did he take it and not realize, like, he thought it was like an energy drink? But he knew?
He bought it specifically.
Oh, okay.
He's like, okay.
But did he know caffeine was in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did.
Okay.
And then I had a couple years in college where I didn't know that green tea had caffeine in it, so I drank green tea in the morning. Not to wake me up, but it was just sort of like routine. So
sure, yeah.
That's the blackmail he has on me, and that's the blackmail I have on him. Yeah, so it just kind of kept going, and we were both really, like, we didn't need the caffeine, and we just kept, so it just kind of kept going.
Yeah, no, I've had other friends who, same type, I think they've just been, like, coffee drinkers their whole life. Or maybe they also really like pop, but same sort of thing, like, if they don't have a little bit of caffeine, at least each day, they'll get a headache and everything. And I've never, I don't know, I do have coffee basically almost, like, every day now. Some days I don't, though. Mm-hmm. But if I don't, it's not a thing. Like, so I don't know if I either started later in life, because I really didn't, like, I don't know. Let me think for a second. I mean, I would drink coffee occasionally, but for me, coffee was basically a way to get milk and sugar into my body when I was younger. And then let me think, I was 37 when I started at Amway. And it probably was a couple years that I was there until, like, on Fridays, I would have a treat, which would be coffee. I'd go with, like, I don't know, Renee and Molly or somebody and get a coffee. But then we had an intern on the team, she had started off as an intern. I don't think she was an intern anymore at the time, but Sarah Gonzalez, she's not at the company anymore, but she was like, she was like, you like milk and sugar? She goes, you should try a vanilla latte. And I have basically become addicted to that, like, since Sarah was like, go try that. So, but, you know, I won't, I don't make, like, lattes at home or anything, but I'll have, like, coffee now almost, like, every day. But if I don't have it, it's not a thing. And caffeine also doesn't, I don't know, the one thing I get from caffeine is I feel like I can exercise a little bit better with it. So I guess there is some boost or pickup. But I can also have a Coke, like, right before I go to bed, and it doesn't keep me up. I could have coffee at night, it doesn't keep me up. Yeah, and it doesn't, if I don't have it, I don't get headaches or whatever, but I don't know. I might just be a weird anomaly like that.
No,
so.
I know so many more people like that, exactly, where they can drink coffee or not drink coffee and it doesn't affect them, or they can have caffeine and not have caffeine and it doesn't affect them. I think, and I love that, and I think that I could actually be that type of person now, and then enjoy coffee when I, have the opportunity. But I think back in the early 2000s when I was a teenager, I didn't see that. I mean, I'm sure that was around still, but the only people that I saw drinking coffee were the ones who were like, I have to have this in the morning.
And the people are like, I need my morning coffee.
Exactly.
Because otherwise they just are kind of like stuck in neutral all day, it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely not a, like, I mean, yeah, there's so many different relationships with coffee, I guess you could say, right? And and I could definitely be someone who, like, could have it or not have it. It's just then I would break the back. So yeah. But there is no prize for whoever wins. We didn't ever set that because we didn't think it would last. So
well, I have to think this has lasted longer than you would think, but you also described it as more of a collaboration than a competition. So it also makes sense that you guys didn't put like a bet on it.
No.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
We were headed in, we weren't even at college yet. We thought for sure it would drop out by college, Or like first, my brother's first kid or, whatever. But anyway. But then I did start drinking kombucha then, like, after college, and that has a little bit of caffeine, but not much.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Because it comes from, like,
because it's
a green or black
leaf
tea. Okay,
tea.
gotcha.
Yeah, but not much. It's like, just a little bit. But I wasn't drinking that all the time. And then back in November, it was a very cold winter.
Yeah.
But I started drinking decaf coffee.
I remember. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I remember this is because a bunch of people are out one time over the holidays, and I was like, hey, but you and I are going to be in the office. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to swing by Starbucks. Do you want anything? And I would have bet all the cash in my wallet that you're going to be like, oh, thank you, but no, I'm good. And you were like, yeah, can you get me a decaf? And I was like, yeah, of course I can. And anyhow, that just made me smile,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And yes, decaf does have some caffeine in it.
Oh, it does?
Unless it's 100% organic. And
Oh,
then it doesn't.
okay.
But it does have a tiny bit.
I don't think that really counts.
Well, I pushed it off for a while, and then when I saw my brother in person, I asked him about it. I was like, hey, tell me about the conditions of this pact. And then, and then he got really, like, nervous, like, oh my goodness, what'd you do? And then I described it, and he was like, oh no, that's fine.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, but I'm not drinking it right now. I just drink it in the winter.
Makes sense. Yeah. Kind of, that's that warmth.
Yeah.
I get it. So, okay. Before we go to everyone's favorite segment, Off the Beaten Path, we'll do the second round of trivia.
Great.
And so, let me hand that to you.
Okay. So it's the same. Did I do that?
Oh, it's okay. About the blackouts and benders again?
Yeah,
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
In 1994, Boris Yeltsin, then president of Russia, got so drunk that he attempted to do what? Drive a tank, communicate with aliens, conduct an orchestra, prank call the space station.
Wow. Yeltsin. He got so drunk. My gut says he tried to drive a tank. Like, I don't think he'd have the number... Well, no, they would, though, because they shoot stuff off of Russia to go to the space station. So I guess he would have the number for the space station. I don't think he's going to try to contact a UFO, because then they would have to admit the UFOs, and in 1994, that was not a thing. So, although now it seems like we're just waiting for them to actually admit that UFOs exist. I mean, just tell us and explain what you don't know. What was the third? What was the
Conduct an orchestra.
Oh yeah, conduct an orchestra. Huh? Would he have done that? Like, let's say he's at the orchestra and he's just bombing a bunch of vodka, probably. Like, would he get up and try to... Man, maybe that one. I'm still going to go with the tank. I'm going to say he tried to drive a tank.
That is a really good guess, because it is very out there. He actually did try to conduct an orchestra.
Oh, he did? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how fun would it have been at that concert? And you're just like, is that Boris?
Right. I want to know the rest of that story.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And also, maybe... I would much rather him try to conduct an orchestra than start a nuclear war.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, well...
yeah, I mean, they're very different, so...
For sure. One is kind of like, funny.
Yeah.
And the other one's like, oh, no.
Right.
Yeah.
But back in 1994, I don't know if people would have found that funny.
That he was conducting an orchestra? Mm-hmm. It was okay. I mean, they were... You know, I mean, it was an odd time for them. Like, Berlin Wall had come down, like... Soviet Union's starting to fall apart. I mean, he steps in.
Yeah.
Gorbachev's gone.
Some comic relief, maybe.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, they were...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would have been a great time to be there, but... I'd still rather have that rather than... He's bombed and it's kind of like, hey, let's go drop a nuclear weapon on them.
Yeah.
That's just a terrible idea.
No, that's awful.
So...
Thankfully that didn't happen.
Also, speaking of Vietnam, just a quick shout out to them. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, if you look at countries that are downloading episodes of the podcast, they're number 3.
No way!
Yeah, which is slightly hilarious. So if someone in Vietnam is enjoying the show, thank you for listening. And if you have a Vietnamese gin to recommend, let us know on our Instagram.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. For Off the Beaten Path, you and I talked before the show, and you said you would go first. So
yeah,
let's hear your topic.
Awesome. So my Off the Beaten Path is a movie called The 12 Chairs. It is directed by Mel Brooks, but if you're expecting the normal comedy that comes from Mel Brooks, it is definitely not.
Okay.
It's definitely different. It's slower and it's more on character development and less on like shocking moments, I guess I could say. So it stars a fallen aristocrat, a charismatic con artist, or con man, and a determined and often frantic priest. So it was released in 1970, but it's actually based on a novel by the Soviet authors. And it definitely leans more into the character-driven comedy. It is set in post-revolutionary Russia, and it plays on light themes of class and greed and survival human nature style. So the plot is that the foreman Russian aristocrat learns that his family jewels were hidden inside one of 12 chairs that from a dining room set that were scattered across the country.
Oh, okay.
And so he goes in search of them and then ends up teaming up with the con artist to go and search for them. But then the priest had overheard about this situation. Okay. So the priest is kind of joining in competition in the hunt of finding these family jewels. So it turns into a cross-country race with the characters sending each other to all kinds of countries, including Siberia. And they're driven by greed and desperation and a bit of obscure luck. So it has a lot of clever moments and character dynamics and just kind of irony. So yeah, okay. It's worth a watch if you're into like a slow burn.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, definitely an older movie, but the story unfolds and it's, in slightly unexpected ways. But... Is
it a bit of a comedy?
Yes.
Still? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. With more of like a darker side too, because you're seeing some of the like...
Is it, is this in color or is it black and white?
It is in color.
Color? Okay.
Yes, yeah. I have watched this movie many times. I grew up on this movie.
Yeah.
And it's just a family favorite.
Yeah,
so.
It's, I love it. Have you ever seen Young Frankenstein?
No.
It's another Mel Brooks, but yeah, it's so well done. Yeah, he's good. I've heard they're coming out with a Spaceballs 2.
Oh,
like, if you ever saw the first one, like that, it's a spoof on Star Wars. And I think next year, like, this is coming out, and I think he's in the film because he was in the first one, or he's part of it. I mean, I can't remember how old he is right now. Like, he's in his 90s at least, but I'm not sure if it's like mid or early or late. But yeah, he's great. And again, what was the name of the movie?
The 12 Chairs.
The 12 Chairs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you're accurate on how it was aged because I think because he even starred in this film, I think, from when I read the casting.
Okay.
And he was like in his 40s or something like that, mid 40s. I could be completely wrong, but.
That would probably be about right. I mean, I was born in 70, so the year I was born, that came out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nice. Awesome. Great. All right. Okay. Mine is actually something I think you're familiar with. I went with a book. I think what inspired me was The Farmer's Gin, and it's like organic, and I was just trying to think of like, I don't know, is there anything kind of close? And so it brought me back to a book I had read years ago that I think you also may have read a couple of years ago, The Botany of Desire by Michael Pollan. Yes. So that is my selection. It originally came out in 2001. And it's this book that kind of talks about, have we shaped plants, or have plants kind of like shaped us, and the like relationships and interactions we have with them, and they take sort of 4 human desires and look at plants who have looked to fulfill a need along that desire, sort of, I mean, in a general way of saying. But it was, I was a huge history fan growing up, so most of the time if I ever read like a nonfiction book, it was like history based. It would be about the Civil War or World War II, or I don't know, things along that nature. And I don't know, I would have been in my early 30s when this book came out. And I remember, if I remember correctly, I think Jim had read this book, and he's the one who told me about it. And he's like, you should check this out. So I did, and it was like one of the first nonfiction, kind of non-history related books that I read that I thoroughly enjoyed. And then he, Michael Pollan, he's a really good writer, and then he goes on to write like The Omnivore's Dilemma, a bunch of other books. I've read other articles of his in the New Yorker. Like, he's a prolific and amazing writer. Like, I highly recommend all his stuff. But this was his first work that I ever got introduced to, and so I really like enjoyed it. So, since you have read this, do you happen to remember the 4 like plants that are talked about?
I think so. I think I know 3 for sure.
Okay.
So there were apples.
Yes.
There was coffee. Coffee beans? No?
Nope.
The
not
different
this
book.
one.
Right? Potatoes.
Yep.
Potatoes. Corn.
No, but I thought corn as well when I was trying to think this over. Or actually, when I first told you and I were talking about this after you read it, and I had mentioned corn, you looked at me and you were like, "No, corn is not in this one." So.
That's funny. So I definitely, I think clearly the chapters I remember the most are apples and potatoes.
Yep.
I don't think I could tell you the other two.
Yeah, so apple, it talked about how it was the desire for sweetness.
Yeah.
And it was, I think of the 4, like, plants it talks about, the apple one was my favorite. Because it talks about, like, how some of the, like, even apple styles I eat today, like, how they came about and how random and lucky we were to have them. Anyhow, I still think that's my favorite part of the book.
Agreed.
So, apple was sweetness. Tulips. For beauty, and it talked about just like the whole tulip craze, like in Holland, and how greed and just how crazy that whole thing was. Marijuana and intoxication, and see, I thought it was corn, along with you, but you're right, it was marijuana and intoxication. And then what's interesting is then like some of his other books have talked about not for intoxication, but like if you were taking like it's hallucinogenics that he goes into, a recent work of his, and then I think his latest work is about consciousness and stuff. So, he's got some interesting stuff. But anyhow, it was marijuana and then like intoxication, and then the other one was potato and control, like how much potatoes have become kind of just like a part of like a lot of our diet that we don't even think about, similar to corn, which is also why I thought it was corn. So,
and I think they also, I think they also describe like the control over, like, we expect the potato to look and smell and have this color. And
and it talked about how like McDonald's was like basically like it has to look a certain way to create the McDonald's French fry and this whole thing.
And so that is what we expect. We expect the potato to be this color and this shape and this, and so that's also not the way for apples either. Like, they're not normally what grocery stores, like, apples come in all kinds of shapes. Yeah,
and it'd be like all these oddball crazy things, but we're kind of like, no, we want it to be this way, and then we start to shape it, but it was also like, it talks about how these plants then thrived because they were able to fulfill a need and or desire that we have, and they've just become prolific. So anyhow, it is one of my probably like all-time favorite non-historical non-fiction books. And so again, it's The Botany of Desire by Michael Pollan, and I highly recommend it. So,
yeah, good one.
So awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. Thanks for trying these gins. We greatly appreciate it, and we will be back again soon.
Thanks, Brian. This was fun.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Also, I want to take a quick minute to thank Darin VanderMolen for all of his help behind the scenes. Without him, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist, and his help is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great week, and we will look forward to seeing you the next time we go down the botanical trails. This has been a Shits and Giggles production.